Hi everyone, welcome back to Embroidery with Ola. Thanks for sharing, thanks for following, thanks for subscribing. I'm just really humbled and surprised by all the feedback that I got from my first video. I just want to thank each and every one of you for being so supportive, and just because you were so nice to leave comments and talk about it, now we have another topic that I really wanted to talk about. Hopefully I can help some out of you today. So what I want to talk about is a question that I got from one of my subscribers. It is, what do I do when embroidery goes wrong? How to save a piece that it's actually embroidered but something went wrong with it. So today I had a request at the store to fix something, and I thought this would be the perfect case to show you guys how to fix an embroidery that goes wrong. First of all, there's so many ways that an embroidery can go wrong. It can go brutally wrong when you just cannot bring it back to life and you cannot save the piece, and this is a hopeless case, and there's some cases that you really cannot do much about it. But there are some other times when it goes wrong with probably just by letter or here and there, and you could definitely make this some little mendings and fix it in order to bring it back, not lose the design, not lose the garment, and not waste all of the time that you spent doing it. There's a few reasons that an embroidery can go wrong. Most of it comes from not being careful enough, not being experienced enough, and it just happens. It's just a moment that you were not paying attention, something go wrong, and the machine goes brutally on the garment, and it might ruin it or rip the fabric. Depends on what type of fabric it is and what the amount of stitches and all that. But there's so many reasons. So first of all would probably be thread tension. When you have the wrong tension either on the top thread or the bobbin, the embroidery might go wrong. It might show a little bit of thread on top, or it might just, the worst case, ruin the fabric, the garment that you're actually working with. It might be, another case might be when it goes out of the hoop, and every time it goes out of the hoop, you cannot bring it back just because the hoop moves, and it will stitch all over the place, and it will definitely lose some good part of the design. Another thing can be when you don't have the right backing, and this is so important, like using the wrong backing or just no backing at all just because you forgot for some reason, it can definitely ruin the piece that you're working with. So I will show you today what I have here. It's a gorgeous sweatshirt because of this tremendous design that it has on the back. This is pretty dope. It took like 2 hours to get this done. That's what I was told. So in order to not lose this, we have another embroidery on front that we wanted to fix today. Something went wrong here with one of the letters, and in order to not lose the design and not waste the whole garment, the sweatshirt in this case, we just wanted to fix this. Obviously the fabric is ripped and one of the letters, it's not the way it should be, but there's some hope in this case, so that's why I took this piece to show it to you how you can fix it. Again, there's so many of you that said that I tried embroider but I can't, it is just so hard, something goes wrong. It is normal, trust me, we all been there, we all done that. Out of nowhere, something can go really wrong. So my suggestion to you is, when you don't feel confident about it, or when you're on your first steps of embroidery, I would definitely suggest to get a scrap, like a material that is very similar to the one that you actually have to embroider, just a piece of clothing, a fabric, an old used t-shirt. Use that side of that and try a test embroidery. It's so important to have a test made before you go to the actual garment, just to make sure that everything would go smooth and perfect before you actually embroider that. That would save you a lot of money, time, and it would definitely save the garment, especially when it's not yours. Like if you have a t-shirt or a tote bag or something that it belongs to a customer, and if you ruin that, then you're in trouble. So definitely try the test first. I'm not saying that if you do the test, if you run the test, nothing gonna happen, but it's most likely that it will go as smooth as the test went, and you always have to like pay attention while the design is loading and it's actually like stitching on the machine. Make sure you stay there and watch it, and if something's wrong, just use the emergency stop button, so that would make the machine stop right away, and it would avoid any possible mistake or any possible accident that could happen with your garment. So try this in order to avoid a mistake, but if it happens, I'm here to help, so I would share how to fix this in a few easy steps. It just takes some time and a lot of patience, but it's fixable, so that's the good news. Alright guys, so now I just place it on my table to see closely what is wrong with it. As you can see here, the letter D is not finished, but even a tiny detail on the embroidery would clearly make the difference. And the fabric is ripped right here. So we gotta fix that. I'm just gonna go ahead on the inside to check the backing and see that there is actually backing used here, so there must have been some other stuff that went wrong. But as you could see here, we have the letter D and how everything's missing there, so we just make sure we fix that. First step, I'm gonna put interface to reinforce the fabric, because you cannot actually embroider on a ripped fabric. If the fabric is missing, there's nothing to embroider on top of there. It's just not going to work. So try to reinforce the fabric first, and then go ahead and fix it. So here's what we do, guys. After we reinforce the fabric, we just try by hand slowly to fill in the spots that is empty. See, like all the stitches that were missing over at the top of the letter D, we try to fill that in, trying to go stitch by stitch easily by hand. It's impossible to do it with the embroidery machine, just because you cannot hoop it the right way that it was before, the exact same way, and it's just really tricky to get to that part of the letter. So just slowly by hand, one stitch at a time, to fill in the missing spot, and also to follow that little arch that goes on the top of the letter D.